I know what you're thinking, it's time for another game, finally! Where have you been, Anuki? Well, unfortunately, there's just not been any games to record, but now we finally have one. It's a 2v2, we have Laubox and Mithras against Seth the Mighty and Purpro, both of which are teams in the tournament. For those who have not checked it out yet, I am hosting a 2v2 tournament. I already have 10 teams and that's great, I only need 6 more and we can go ahead and do a full tournament. But we'll talk about that at another point in time. Right now we're on the map Farmland, which we haven't seen yet. I do hope it's going to be a good game. Spawning on the left-hand side for the Russians is Mithras, who is complaining about the pictures I'm giving him, and I'm not referring to those pictures. And on the right-hand side we have Laubox darting down the road. One rifleman on the right-hand side, one Rifleman to the left-hand side. He's going to be meeting engagements very shortly down this road. Usually when I see this map played, often players will go to the right-hand side and just cover that area, but no, the engagements are going to happen down this road. Seth the Mighty for the Commonwealth opposes Laubox today. Laubox moving his troops behind his glass house. Unfortunately, not the brightest of protection, and yeah, brightness is very important for protection, and debris falls on them. It's an unusual kill. 4 guys down for Laubox. Kind of a huge loss for him in the early engagements. We've got some grenades being tossed on the left-hand side, already pinging straight away, alerting the Soviets to danger. Pinging on the map with the N button is always a great sign of teamwork. It's just alerting you to dangers on the battlefield that your teammate might not be aware of, but you know, it's all good. I'm hoping to see some great teamwork in 2v2, especially the 2v2 tournament coming up. But this game is kind of like a taster of what would happen. We've got some direct control from Seth, doing some Matrix-style bullet dodging, tosses a grenade. One hell of a good cooked grenade. It kills that guy. And now he's beginning to capture that zone. Off in the center, though. It seems like the Soviets have this area for now, although they will be losing that right-hand side. Pinging on the map once again, trying to show that there's just hardly anyone around that area. Seth the Mighty, known for his sneakiness, will be getting by in that area. Purpro on this left-hand side, being faced up against Mithras. That's Mithras for the Russians and Purpro for the Commonwealth. I should have said it in the other direction, but anyway. Mithras bringing a light AT gun to the field, as well as an MG. And an additional SMG infantry as well. So already static defences, those god forbidden static defences in 2v2, which are always used and complained about, apparently, or so I'm told. Not a 2v2 master here. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. Only matters that people are dying on my screen in spectacular ways. That's all anyone cares about who's watching this. We want to see some good fights. Anyway, we have Laubox with direct control. Wanted to throw a grenade, but doesn't seem to have a target. More pinging here. Seth the Mighty trying to sneak in, just as I predicted, but the lines are closed. Laubox not falling for that trick. Be aware, in all games, try and have just some infantry keeping eyes everywhere. Just don't let the infantry of your enemy pass through. It can seriously harm you later on in the game if they run behind you and chuck an AT grenade on your tank that you've saved up for. It's definitely not good. A good unit for that, if you just need some infantry to give you eyes, is Partisans, or you know, the cheapest unit you can get. It gives you, you know, a fair whack amount of guys, and they're really crap and they die easy and they can't shoot. But they will give you eyes. They're pretty good. Anyway, on this left-hand side, it seems Mithras isn't going to be pushing up. He doesn't want to take that island, which is nicely surrounded with its own little moat. Laubox is trying to push up on this right-hand side. We've got 2 guys just hiding behind this building. One's healing up, one's throwing a grenade, but Seth the Mighty sees it. He's already retreating. He loses his helmet, though. Maybe he'll pick his helmet back up. Helmets are always handy. So one commentator incorrectly answered my question. My question was, do different hats have different levels of protection? Not do all hats have protection benefits, which I already knew. Anyway, Laubox bringing up a machine gun. So heavy static emplacements. We've already seen so far a machine gunner being moved up from Mithras, as well as a light AT gun, but I think Seth the Mighty has a Saboteur already calling down an artillery strike on this sandbag. Laubox, unfortunately, his crew doesn't quite get out of the way with the machine gun, but the machine gun is still there. It's still usable. Unless Purpro steals it, which he has. This will be a huge advantage. Never mind, it won't be a huge advantage. The light AT gun took care of that. Never mind though, he did seize that opportunity. He did try and get away with it, and it might have worked if it wasn't for this meddling AT gun, which is blasting away at that house now. It would be a great idea to take care of that house, preventing the enemy from hiding. I always do like to destroy my enemy's cover. It's a big help. Anyway, the engagement's on this right-hand side, and Seth the Mighty with that machine gun at the back. Look at the range of that. What a great place for a machine gun to be positioned. Definitely helping out on this right-hand side. Laubox not going to be able to deal with that unless he gets closer. It looks like Seth is trying to be the offensive one here. Laubox definitely not going to get anywhere near that machine gunner if this is happening. He's got to hold his lines and make sure no one gets past, which is highly likely. Seth, the destroyer of greenhouses. A lot of destruction early game just from these machine guns pouring lead into the greenhouses. But we've already seen it before. Those greenhouses, when they blow up, they can hurt infantry hiding behind them, so it's not all bad. AA tank now for Laubox. This is going to deal with all that infantry trying to push up. This is going to force Seth to have to buy some sort of AT. Maybe he can get away with just an AT rifle on that one. But a tank would be good just to support his infantry and deal with the AA gun. So probably that's the excellent choice right now. I'm not sure if he'll get an AT gun because that's going to hide behind the buildings. Over in the middle, the Soviets are capping the flag slowly but surely. Mithras hanging out in that building that's already got its corner taken out. More artillery going down on this machine gun. Is this? Yes, this is a brand new machine gun. The old one got destroyed. I can tell because this is a brand new sandbag and the other sandbag was already used. But that's no more. Mithras did get one guy to survive that artillery. More artillery happening in the center. Mithras not going to be able to survive that inside the building. Just gets ripped apart. And now there's very little cover in the center for anyone to hide behind to capture that point. Just that small little wall. Not really. It's going to be a bit obvious if there's someone in there. For both teams. AA gun pouring away lead, and I can see in the background some bushes moving. Maybe there's a tank coming. Usually, you know, when there's movement in the fog of war, there's something arriving, and I'm right, a Mark II Matilda from Seth. This is definitely going to deal with that AA gun, definitely going to help out the infantry. So Seth has the resources now to push up. He doesn't want to be moving ahead with that tank though. This is an urban environment. Tanks easily surprised around corners, usually from a rocket. Back over to the center, we've got some smokes up for Seth and Purpro. They're hiding behind that, taking the zone. If they get this, they can start taking their points above 0. Currently the Soviets have 13 and the Commonwealth have 0, so they need to get this game moving. We've got some smokes up in front of this sandbags line. I'm not sure who's trying to advance on who here. We do have a group of infantry arriving in this area. The smoke's gone though. That's not going to help them now. Partisans, they're definitely not something you really want to push with. Great for making up the extra bodies, you know, making it seem like you have a defense. Alternatively, you can push zones with them, but most of the time they just end up all dying in a horrible, glorious death. AA tank and the Matilda already engaging. Laubox bringing the heavy machine gun once again to the center, very heavy emplacements. Right now I'm getting the feeling that's a questionable decision, considering they do have flares to artillery. And we've seen 2 machine guns destroyed already. Is this third one going to be any different? We'll just have to wait and see. Maybe positioning it really far back would be helpful, but this landscape isn't the best. Purpro hiding behind this building. There might be a few more infantry from Purpro. One super grenade goes over the top, destroys that building. That guy just disappears into a cloud of dust. Laubox definitely happy with the result of that grenade, but he still doesn't have this zone quite yet. He needs to push up more infantry. But it looks like we've got machine gunners on the left and right hand side. Purpro not just fighting on the left, but fighting on the right-hand side as well. We can see this machine gunner not quite far back enough, I would say. That's definitely going to hit or see some artillery soon, very soon. The Mark II Matilda on the right-hand side, just hiding behind the buildings at the moment, protected by the infantry around it. Not going to get a good shot off. It seems like it's laying in wait for that AA tank just to pop out, and you know, one wrong move and that AA tank is gone. Laubox needs something to deal with this Mark II Matilda, possibly a tank of his own. There's only one good spot for an AT gun I can think of on this right hand side, and it's not going to be very mobile for him, so most likely going to see a tank from him, I would say. Maybe saving up for the big tanks. That's usually how a lot of the games go. People wait for the heavy armor rather than keep on rushing in with the very cheap stuff. We have a Saboteur hiding in the corner here. Very forward Saboteur. I'm not sure if Mithras and Laubox know it yet. They could definitely easily take that out with a grenade right now, but they're moving infantry into the zone, trying to neutralize it. The points would equalize then. 14-13 in favor of the Commonwealth right now. The points going down. Is the Saboteur going to get taken out though? It tossed a grenade away and dives. It's very low health now. Purpro would be wise to retreat right now. Seth giving some covering fire with an AT gun, out of all things to be giving covering fire to a Saboteur. It doesn't look like Purpro's going to retreat though. He's going to keep him around and toss grenades into this crater. He's racking up kills, but it would be a really big loss if he lost him. He's just using it very riskily. We've got some more grenades being tossed. Either way, what are you doing? Runs out into the fire. He was alive for a moment, but it seems like that building wasn't enough to offer him protection. He got shot in the foot. AA tank has now been neutralized. Well done, Seth the Mighty. He gets him just through the narrow buildings here. Trying to repair it though. That dude, it's on fire. It's not gonna. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. Don't. Things on fire is bad. I learned my lesson in GTA. Laubox bringing a T-34 up now. That's enough firepower to stop a Matilda. Definitely. That Matilda from Seth still hiding behind these buildings. Not sure if the T-34 is just going to take a dead-on shot and try and penetrate the building and get it. Would be a little bit risky, and it would alert Seth to the fact he's got a T-34. I don't think the T-34 can get a shot if it hangs around this side of the building. It might have to move up. For one, that would be good, but also risky. There's not much infantry ahead of Laubox's tank. He's just brought this tank in. The last thing he wants to do is lose it straight away before it's had any effectiveness. It does get a shot from this side of the building. First shot, and it destroys the hull. I don't think Seth knows what hit him, or maybe he's not even noticed his Matilda's been taken out right now. Depending on where the player's attention is, of course. It appears for the most part, though, most of the action is happening in the centre. All players contributing to that battle. On the left, completely ignored. No one really cares about advancing on that side. Very light infantry for Mithras, just keeping eyes on the area. On the right, we're kind of getting a back and forth situation, and Seth's currently, I would say, has the upper hand right now. You can see what's hiding behind these sandbags on the left hand side. Just partisans making up the numbers, giving eyes. Purpro with infantry in the middle, capping this point once again. We're coming up to the 15-minute mark, and already these greenhouses, one more has just been completely destroyed, but 4 greenhouses left, 4.5 I'd say. Maybe you see them disappear later on in the game. Laubox keeping eyes over these greenhouses. They're really easy to sneak by. When they're actually there, of course. When they're not there, it's terrible to sneak by. But nonetheless, the lines are closed. Seth isn't going to be sneaking by the looks of it. Fighting continues on the centre. Purpro tossing a grenade a little bit far back, but he